What happens when you have the world at your feet, only to have it all snatched away in a single devastating moment? What do you do when your greatest gift, the very thing that defines you, becomes the source of your deepest pain? This isn't just a story about a game. It's a story about the fragile nature of dreams and the unbreakable strength of the human spirit. It's about a man who was anointed a king, who flew closer to the sun than almost anyone, and then fell back to earth in a searing blaze of heartbreak and what-ifs. But this isn't a tragedy. This is the story of Derrick Rose, a lesson in mindset that will force you to look at your own struggles, your own scars, and find the power hidden within them. Stay with us, because this journey from the pinnacle to the abyss and back again might just change the way you fight your own battles. Our story begins in Englewood, one of Chicago's toughest neighborhoods. This is a place where dreams are often overshadowed by the harsh realities of the streets. But in the heart of this concrete jungle, a rose was growing. A young boy named Derrick, the youngest of 4 brothers, found his sanctuary on the basketball court. His brothers, his protectors, built a human wall around him, shielding him from the dangers outside so his rare talent could blossom. He wasn't just good, he was a force of nature, a blur of speed and power that left opponents and spectators breathless. He became a legend in Chicago long before the world knew his name. When he was drafted first overall by his hometown Chicago Bulls, it was more than a draft pick. It was a prophecy fulfilled. The prodigal son had returned to resurrect a franchise still living in the shadow of Michael Jordan. And he delivered. The United Center, once the home of his airness, now pulsed with a new energy. Who, as he was affectionately known, played with a controlled fury, a combination of explosive grace and relentless attack. He would soar for dunks over 7-foot centers and finish acrobatic layups that seemed to defy the laws of physics. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was creating art. In just 3 years, he did the impossible. He became the youngest, most valuable player in the history of the NBA. At 22 years old, he was carrying the weight of a city on his shoulders, and he made it look effortless. He was on top of the world, a king in his own court, with a future so blindingly bright it seemed nothing could cast a shadow upon it. But fate, as it often does, had a different, cruel plan. April 28, 2012. A playoff game. A meaningless play in the final minutes of a game already won. He leaped into the air as he had 1,000 times before, but this time, he didn't land the same. A torn ACL. In that single, horrific moment, the entire trajectory of his life changed. The fall was as swift and brutal as his rise had been spectacular. The MVP was gone. What followed was a descent into a personal hell. The physical pain of surgery and rehabilitation was immense, but it paled in comparison to the psychological torment. 1 injury became 2, then 3. His body, once his greatest asset, had betrayed him. The media, which had once celebrated him, now questioned him, labeling him injury-prone, fragile, done. The whispers of "what if" became a deafening roar that followed him everywhere. Most would have quit,
Most would have surrendered to the pain, to the heartbreak, to the crushing weight of a dream denied. Think about it. To have everything you've ever worked for, everything you are, ripped away. It's enough to break anyone. But this is where the real story begins. This is where mindset matters.
While the world was writing his eulogy, Derrick Rose was in a quiet gym, rewriting his story. He had to face a painful truth. The player he once was, the explosive MVP, was gone forever. He couldn't get that version of himself back. So he had to build a new one. The explosive speed was tempered, the reckless abandon replaced by a veteran's calculated precision. He endured the trades, the humbling minimum contracts, the unfamiliar role of a bench player. He went from being the face of the league to a journeyman, a player teams took a chance on. But he never complained. He never blamed the world. He embraced his new reality and found a new purpose, to prove that his spirit was stronger than his knees. He found a deeper love for the game itself, not for the fame or the accolades, but for the craft. Then came the night of October 31st, 2018. It was a regular season game in Minnesota, a night that held no special significance to the outside world. But for Derrick Rose, it would become the most important night of his life. With the team's stars injured, he was thrust into the spotlight once more, and he didn't flinch. For 48 minutes, the clock turned back. He wasn't the broken player the world thought he was. He was D. Rose again, driving, spinning, shooting. With every basket, the crowd grew louder. His teammates watched in awe. This wasn't just a great performance, it was a resurrection. As the final buzzer sounded, he had scored a career-high 50 points. The emotion he had bottled up for 6 long years poured out. He buried his face in a towel, tears streaming down his face. They were not tears of sadness, but of vindication. Tears for the dark days, the lonely nights in the gym, the relentless self-belief when the world had written him off. He had shown everyone, and more importantly, himself, that he was not broken. He was remade. Derrick Rose's story isn't just about a comeback in sports. It's a profound testament to the power of the human mind. It teaches us that we are not defined by our setbacks, our failures, or our scars. We are defined by how we respond to them. Life will knock you down. It will test you, wound you, and leave you feeling like there's no way back. You will have moments where the dream feels dead. But your circumstances don't get to write your ending. Only your mindset does. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you choose to move forward. You can choose to adapt, to redefine success, and to find strength in the very places you were broken. What is the biggest obstacle you are facing right now? What is that one challenge, big or small, that you feel is holding you back? Don't just think about it. Write it down. Share it in the comments below. Let's create a community of fighters. A place where we can inspire each other to stand back up. If this story moved you, please hit that like button to show your support. And subscribe to Mindset Matters for more stories of resilience and the power of the human spirit. Because sometimes the greatest victories aren't about reclaiming what you lost, but about becoming
something more.